Lesotho for round 5, also over 400 Ks. Maseru has had off-road racing back after an absence when the old classic, the Roof of Africa Rally, was cancelled. But the Lesotho Sun Hotel and Casino in the capital again drew a full field to the 2005 edition for the second time. The Pope's Podium was the start point for the prologue of 56 Ks, and Alfie Cox and co-Ralph Pitchford held nothing back. Gary Bertelt and Siegfried Rousseau had won every prologue of the season and were hoping to repeat that for a 5th time in a row. Brother Bevan and his co Nick Solomalela are known as an aggressive team but showed early restraint. The dusty, rocky and very dry route would again test man and machine to the absolute limit. The Harpers pushing their bat all the way, but just this side of too hard. And the same went for Brandon Harkis and Alex Sally in their motorized bat. The right line in Maseru is vital, and Martian Whitehouse knew that from the word go. Still, it's a big shake for the kidneys. Variawa and Van Zyl fresh off a good run in the series with their BMW-powered Porter flying along the foothills of the Maluti Mountains. The father and son combination, the Walks, Robert and Gareth in the Super Pave special vehicle, making short work of the rutted roads. The Roof of Africa Rally was eventually cancelled due to the fact that some people thought it was too rough on the competitors and cars. But frankly, the terrain is just made for this type of thing. It was certainly very hard out there, as Rutherford and Horn found out. Will Battersfield and Reg Sutton in their Jimco Sandmaster were third on the log with 31 points and planned to better that. While Schilling, who knows this area well, and Davies were running 8th on the dirt roads, but even they got a little lost. Mark Cronje and Chris Birkin in the Castrol Toyota Hilux were 12th overall, but a fast-closing Evan Hutchison let them know that he's right on their tail. He passes and expresses his thanks. Gentlemen, these boys are. And now Cronje had to dodge the dust. Rundlin Janiakis led Class E after a faultless prologue in the Bowden Tyre Services Nissan, but was soon to retire with a damaged sump after the engine mountings had broken and the engine fell right on it. Arnold Du Plessis and John Knox in the BB Auto Nissan Hardbody were also going well. Du Plessis sounds the screamer signal, wanting to pass Piazza Musso and Fourie, and then Piazza Musso makes an almost suicidal U-turn. Jan Neer in the Tyco Trucks Toyota Fisser at Badenhorst had picked up a place. With brothers Rudy and Pierre van Graan in the Technochair Zarco Light negotiating some terrain that had been severely eroded, but they just piled on the pressure. Thompson and McNamara in their Mormon Zarco Light were third in Class B, and despite a puncture and power steering problems, they were going well. Colin Matthews and Johnny Erasmus were doing a great job in the WPP 2-litre. The Maluti Mountains were reverberating to the sounds of these big engines and their very hard taskmasters, none more so than Yuri and Andre Du Plessis' Nissan. So Matten and Schwegler were again set to add to their world record tally and were determined in the Mastercraft Ryobi Pajero. Zane Pierce, leading in Class E, dropped to 13th when his Toyota broke a front drive shaft on lap 1. But with a comfortable lead of 33 minutes at the front, it was Cox who had the luxury of cruising in and not having to push. The Harpers were having their best event ever and looked set to win, something they'd never done before. Even if they did knock over our camera, Harkus had a fine run, a finish in Lesotho, in a vehicle that he helped to create. Grobler believes in saying it's not over until the fat lady sings, and characteristically he continued to give it all until the very end. Former special vehicle champion Varayawa, the only total motorsport representative in the absence of reigning champion Atang Makgaghanene, was to have a smoother run to the finish than his previous lap in the Porter BMW. The Hutchison-Ormerod pairing in the Class B motorized bat had proved to be a winning combination, and they were heading for another impressive victory. But in the end, it was a weary and delighted Alfie Cox who finished first in the proudly South African Nissan hardbody to record a historic first win in a car in Lesotho after winning 9 Roof of Africa events on 2 wheels. Cox and Pitchford were delighted. First special across the finish line was the bat of Nick and Ryan Harper to give the father and son combination their first ever championship win. So another convincing win for Cox and Pitchford, a great storming drive from Grobler, and class wins for Mark Grenier and Chris Birkin. A maiden win for the Harpers in the special vehicle category, 3 bats in the top 4 and class wins for Hutchison and Schilling. And the point standings, that's what it looked like, with Grobler and Jordan enjoying 10 points over Cox and Pitchford. And in a special vehicle category, there was very little to choose between Marsh and Whitehouse and Harper with Battershill and Sutton in 3rd place.